5 long-lasting summer fragrances that get compliments. I want to start by a fragrance that I didn't like it, to be honest, at the very first sniff, but right now I can say it grew on me and I like it better. And when it comes to the compliments, you cannot go wrong with this fragrance, definitely. Le Beau Le Parfum from House of Jean Paul Gaultier, maybe because it is too sweet or a bit leans in that youthful side. I didn't like it. But when it comes to the compliments, performance, and that appealing effect, you can definitely not go wrong with this fragrance. It is a very appealing and attractive, long-lasting, complimenting fragrance. If you haven't smelled this one, it is like a little bit tropical, has that coconutty, Virgin Islandy feel to it, and at the dry down gets more aquatic. I cannot get that much aquaticness at the beginning, but at the dry down leans more aquatic and loses that tropical fruity vibe, and still it is sweet. So it is sweet, fruity, and very little aquatic at the background, which gets more aquatic at the dry down. At some points reminds me of Invictus Aqua 2018 version, like that fragrance, but this one leans less floral compared to that one, and performance is equal, like 10 hours plus in terms of longevity, with 2 hours of great projection and sillage. About next fragrance, at the opening, a little bit too synthetic to my nose. I'm not that much fan of the opening, let's say, but I don't hate it. Would be better, but gets way better at the dry down. That's the point that I start liking that fragrance. I like it to dry down better, like most of fragrances, but this one, yeah, Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue Italian Love. At the opening, that grapefruit note is too prominent and synthetic. I have to say it is not unpleasant, but it is too strong. You feel that there is only one note at the opening, and that is grapefruit. But at the dry down gets like less grapefruity, goes out of that pungent, prominent grapefruit and leans a little bit more aquatic. You feel something woody, earthy, and fragrance gets more, let's say, twisted and busy, crowded at the dry down compared to the opening. So I can say I really enjoyed the dry down of this one. If you like fragrances, for example, like Terre de Hermes, earthy, citrusy, zesty fragrances, you're gonna like this one as well. But this one has also aquatic accords to it. If we have to compare it with Terre de Hermes, that fragrance is not aquatic at all, but this one has definitely solid aquatic notes, which shines better at the dry down. So for me, the only issue is that opening. Else would be a 10 out of 10 fragrance. If it had a better or well-balanced opening, I would say it is definitely a 10 out of 10 fragrance, as it is long-lasting, like 12 hours plus. Projects solid for this type of fresh, is like very good for 2 hours. Gets compliments, not wow in terms of compliment getting factor, but it is like above average, I have to say. So I can consider it as a compliment getting fragrance. And yeah, price is also good. So except that opening, this fragrance is a 10 out of 10 citrusy, aquatic, and high quality smelling fragrance at the dry down. Next fragrance is also 10 out of 10 for me. I have two little issues with this one. First, has age factor to it. I don't have problem personally, but when it comes to the suggesting it, it closes my hand. I cannot suggest it with a very good conscience. And second, it is a little bit old school, but not outdated. Egoist Platinum from House of Chanel, one of the best old school, mature, dressed up, green and citrusy fragrances with a great quality. I can compare that dressed up luxury and masculine atmosphere of this one with Green Irish Street from House of Creed. But in terms of scent profile, these are totally two different fragrances, 100%. So this one is a green and citrusy fragrance, well balanced. You're gonna get like 50-50 citruses and green notes. At some points, maybe at the dry down, gets less green, I have to say. And I would prefer it a little bit less sweet. Sweetness is like added a little bit, would be better, more sour, but still I have no problem with this fragrance. And for me, this is one of the best performing Chanel fragrances in my collection. Definitely outperforms even parfum fragrances like Chanel, Bleu de Chanel Parfum, Bleu de Chanel EDP, Allure Sport Eau Extreme. This one is solid 8 to 9 hours plus on my skin. In terms of longevity and projection and sillage, is actually good for first 2 hours, I can say. Next one, I didn't like, to be honest, this one also at the very first sniff, as it is niche, and I will say why. And little issue, it is not a safe blind buy worthy fragrance. It is not for everyone, as it has a very niche and outstanding DNA, let's say. To this one, I'm talking about Cedrat Bose from House of Montserrat. I didn't like it because I heard that is clone of Creed Aventus, and I really enjoy that DNA. But when I sniffed it, it is like ruined version of Aventus because of that leather, because of that creamy notes, because of added vanilla and sweet notes, because of ton of patchouli at the base and reduced smokiness and. But on its own way, when you accept it, it is a crazy fragrance. I can say it smells more niche even compared to Aventus, and more complex and more daring. Lasts on me 10-12 hours plus, and projection and sillage is solid for first 3 hours. Scent profile is like, as I said, citrusy. It has a creamy vibe, like sandalwoody creaminess. Patchouli is prominent. At the base, we have leather, and fragrance is extremely woody. Not too citrusy sour like Creed Aventus, but I have to say here I get more sweetness rather than sour citrusy notes. When it comes to the performance and compliments, at the same time, I believe nothing or very few fragrances can beat Hajebot by Nishane. Although it is not 100% a summer type of fragrance, I mean it is too smoky, earthy and dense for extremely hot summer days, but for normal summer days, cooler summer days, spring, fall, even winter, it is a solid, woody, earthy, smoky and strong citrusy fragrance. Also, I can get some sort of inspirations from Aventus, but again, I have to say this is also totally a different fragrance. It is smoky, but different type of smokiness, like woody, earthy type of smokiness here. It is mostly in that earthy side. It is like soily, dusty in a very dense way, and at the opening it is like sour, citrusy with hints of pineapple at the background, but it is like very strong citrusy and earthy fragrance. I can get 12 hours plus solid longevity with this one, and projection and sillage is beastly for first 3 hours. Take care, guys.